Fantastic. Well, whether or not we're good over there, I was trying to get a thumbs up, but they're not looking. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity of Joplin, whether you are here with us in person or out there in Facebook land. We are glad that you are with us this morning. My name is Neely Myers, and I am your platform assistant this morning. So again, welcome. We are thrilled to be with you this morning on July 11th. Please, if you would, silence your cell phones. But while you are looking at your cell phones, if you would like, share and comment on this broadcast, whether, again, you are here in person or out there. It helps us be seen and helps more people find Unity of Joplin, and that is a fantastic thing. We do have a new nursery, as you know. I don't think we're going to need it this morning from the looks of it. It looks like just my guy is the only kiddo here. But should you need it out there, if you're watching us in Facebook land, there is a nursery where you can take your child but not miss the service because there is a TV in there. Or ultimately, there will be people that will be in there with your kiddos and loving on them while you are out here sharing the message with us. And with that, it is time, Gary and Jerry, for our monthly song. And we did pass out some hymnals, Sam and Marilyn and I. So it is number 359, if you would like to follow along. Jerry says stand up, so get on that. Stand up.
We make our own world wherever we are. Our happiness is of our own making. We make our own world wherever we are. Our happiness then is for the taking. Our world goes with us as we talk and walk along each day. The world can be a heaven or hell. Our attitudes will stay. We make our own world wherever we are. Let's make it happy. Let's live in beauty. We make our own world wherever we are. Keep thinking happy. We'll make a new world.
I just love that one. So our celebration team, of course, that was Gary and Jerry leading us in our song with all your beautiful voices out there as well. Mike and Michael, are, as always, are behind the scenes. Earlier, Jeanette was playing the piano, and that was beautiful, too, so thank you for that. Billy is our trustee of the day. Wave at everybody, Billy. So if you have questions, thoughts, just anything that you might post in the Facebook chat, you may get with Billy. Billy will be happy to help you here in the sanctuary as well, if there's anything that you need, as well, really anyone here. And then, as I said before, I am your platform assistant. And Bonnie O'Boyle is here this morning for our lesson and meditation, and I'm very looking forward to that. We do have a few announcements. If you have a prayer request, you may always send that to Silent Unity. You may talk to one of our fantastic chaplains here at Unity of Joplin. There are many ways that you can have your prayer requests met. And so you can submit it right there to prayer@unityofjoplin.org. Additionally, Mary Sue Black, our lovely Mary Sue Black, did make her transition very recently, and her celebration of life will be here in just a couple of weeks. Is that a picture of when she and Sarah got married? It sure is. Oh, how lovely. Her celebration of life will be here very soon on July 24th here at Unity of Joplin at 11 o'clock in the morning, if you would like to attend. We do need some volunteers to read the daily word, to support the Earth Care team, to work the Pride Table, which that's coming up at the end of August, the 28th and 29th, and that is an awesome outreach opportunity. So if that is in your heart, you may let anyone on the board know. I would suspect would be able to help you get signed up for those opportunities, and we would be thankful in advance for your opportunity to volunteer, for your not opportunity, for your willingness is the word I'm looking for, to volunteer. Next Sunday, we're excited to welcome our very own Alyssa back to talk to us. And so if you are free next Sunday, you may join us here in person. Again, remember, if you've been vaccinated, you just only need to bring your vaccination card. If you have not, we do ask that you wear a mask. And so we know that the Right and Perfect Minister is heading our way, right? We don't know when he or she will get here, but we know they will. So if you would say along with me our affirmation to that end, the right minister in the right timing is coming to serve Unity of Joplin with strong vision, energy, compassion, and faith. Thank you, God. Yes, and we look forward to the day when we meet him or her. Okay, or they, however they choose to be called. So for our inspiration today, I don't know how many of you have had opportunity to meet Linda Martella Whitsett. She is a Unity minister. She is a reverend. She is currently in Kansas City. I had the pleasure of going to the Youth of Unity program with her daughter, and they are just an absolutely wonderful family. But she wrote a book called How to Pray Without Talking to God that if you have not read, I urge you to do so. It is a wonderful book. And in it, she has sort of come up with her own way to say the Lord's Prayer, what she calls the Unity way, or at least what meets the needs of her congregation that she works with, and I just adore it, so I want to read it to you today. Light of the world shines within me, outside me, all around me. Looking to the light, I am led by the light. I reflect the light in my innermost thoughts, as well as my outermost actions. Every day, every good comes my way. The light I am keeps me from being caught up in superficial or material matters. I am freed from being out of rhythm with my divine identity. From the one source comes the vision, the energy to bring forth the vision, and the harmony of this manifested vision within all of creation. This is the foundation from which I take my next step. I just love that version, so thank you, Linda. Okay, I'm excited to hear Bonnie speak, but before we do, we are going to have another song and then our sacred exchange. So Gary and Jerry, if you would lead us, it's 222 in your hymnal. My life begins for me today.
My life begins for me today. New worlds before me lie. The yesterdays have passed away. No more to cause a sigh. Before me lies the bright today. All blessings in His whole, and I rejoice to find life's way and sing its joys untold. Today for me begins anew, a life that holds for me all that is good and real and true. Its blessings now I see. I look no longer to the past, nor wait for future days. For with today my lot is cast, His present joys I praise.
How fantastic is that thought, to praise the present joys. I just love that. So while we are doing that together, let's take our offerings in our hand, and we know that we give thanks in advance for all that we are to receive today. And there are many ways that you can give. You can click donate on the, not Facebook, but rather the website. You can text to give, the number on your screen. You may send a good old-fashioned check if that is how you're comfortable operating. And if you are here in person, you can give in any of those ways as well. So take your offering in your hand, if you would, and say along with me, in a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Joplin and those we serve are bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good is here now. Thank you, God. And now if I could have a volunteer or two, I'll bet my handsome guys will come help me to do the... Sam, can you come help? Or maybe Billy, can you help? Whoever gets there first, thank you so much. Thank you. And if you would help me dedicate these offerings. These tithes and offerings are dedicated to the will and work of Spirit through Unity of Joplin for the highest good of all. Thank you. And now comes the time when I get to bring Bonnie up to have our lesson in meditation. So hang on to your hats. Here she goes.
Hello, all you love lights. How's everybody doing today? Awesome. I came to share the good news that I believe that love always wins. And how many are with me? Do you guys think love always wins? Yes, I'm in good company here. Awesome. And also, we have somebody else who really believed in that too, our Myrtle Fillmore, our dear co-founder of our church. And she said, as the sunshine brings out the colors in beauty, so the light of love brings out Christ's virtues in people. So love, love, love. Can't you just see her saying that? Love, love, love. Yeah. And this quote that she has reminds me of a story I once heard about a group of monks that were in a monastery. And there were about, I think, 5 of these monks, and they were getting older, and they were reminiscing about how in the monastery, it used to be like a vibrant part of their community. People would come for spiritual counsel, and people would come to have picnics on the beautiful grounds, but nobody was coming anymore. And these 5 elderly monks were having a really hard time keeping the grounds beautiful, and the monastery was falling into disrepair. So they were sitting and talking about what could they do about this, and the other monks asked the abbot to go and talk to the rabbi who lived in a cabin in the woods. And so the abbot decided that would be a good idea, and he went to the cabin to talk to the rabbi. And he knocked on his cabin door, and he was very pleasantly surprised to have a guest. He didn't have many guests, and he invited the abbot in for tea. And as they sat and visited and caught up, the abbot told the rabbi about what was going on with the monastery and how it was in disrepair, and the 5 elderly monks could not keep up with all of the needs and the repairs and the grounds. And the rabbi didn't have any brilliant ideas for how to save the monastery, but they did have a nice tea and a nice visit. And as the abbot was leaving, the rabbi said to him, "By the way, one of you is the Messiah." And the abbot thought that was a very odd thing for the rabbi to say as he was closing the door, no discussion about it. And so the abbot thought about this very deeply on his walk back to the monastery. And he thought, well, could it be me? could it be one of these other men? Who could this be? And he came back and told the other four monks that he had been told that there was nothing that the rabbi knew of that they could do to save the monastery, but that one of them was the Messiah. And that got them all to thinking. And as they did their chores, they put a little bit more presence into it and a little bit more care into it. And they started thinking about each other in a much different way and having a little bit more love and reverence for one another and for themselves. And all of a sudden, there were other young men who wanted to join the monastery and become monks. And they started helping them beautify the grounds and fix the monastery up. And then eventually people started coming for spiritual counsel and started coming for picnics. And the monastery became a vibrant and alive part of the community again. Now, isn't that a beautiful story of how our perspective about one another, when we see that Christ divine light that Myrtle Fillmore was talking about, how that can make such a huge difference in our day-to-day life? Sometimes it takes contrast to get us there, doesn't it? Yes, it does, right. And in the last year, we've had just a little bit of contrast, haven't we? Just a little bit of contrast. I like to call it the corona expansion, because I believe it's expanding our corona, our crown chakra, to let more God light in. Isn't that kind of a fun way to think of it? And it's helping us all to evolve and become who we need to be able to navigate this world with all the changes that are coming up for us. There's a children's book that I love called The Little Soul in the Sun. And it is based on an excerpt from Neil Donald Walsh's Conversations with God. And in this children's book, God is talking to this little soul and trying to help this little soul understand what is it that there is other than light. Because this little soul had only ever experienced light. Everything around it was light. It was light. So it didn't know how to see itself amongst all this light. And so God was saying, we'll just put you in darkness so that you can be seen. And God told the little soul about contrast, that without it, you could not know what anything is like. You could not know warm without cold, up without down, fast without slow. You could not know left without right, here without there, now without then. Sounds kind of like a Dr. Seuss book to me, but I kind of like it. It's a really good concept, right? Without the contrast, how do we really, truly embrace one another and really appreciate each other? Now, I was told that you guys had to not meet in person for a while, and I bet y'all were missing each other. And I bet that helped your love for each other grow, and your appreciation and that reverence of seeing the Messiah in each other has grown in your absence from one another. Because I know that's happened at Unity of Fayetteville, where I come from, for sure. So I'm going to ask y'all to tell on yourselves. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'd love to hear some shout outs about what you appreciate about the other members of your church. Or if there's somebody particular you want to give a shout out for, let's hear it. Michael. What does Michael do that you appreciate? He lives here, has his presence here. I'm sure filling the place with great light because he's a very light-filled being, and he has his wonderful little doggie here. Bernie Sanders, I heard, is the name of this dog, and I really like that dog. That dog, I think, is the official usher at this church. All you guys got to do is get some like the order of service things and get a little pocket for the dog, and then it would be your even a more official usher. Thank you very much. Who else would like to share something you love about somebody here? Yes? The board ushering us through weirdness. Isn't that what they do, right? Boards usher us through weirdness and kind of keep that stability for us, no matter what's happening in the outside world. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Arian, yeah. Applause for our wonderful musicians, right? Yeah, they're great. Isn't it neat how music uplifts us and helps us to get to like that higher state? For sure. Yeah. Steady at the wheel, Jefferson. During very difficult times. So, yeah. Yeah, Michael for doing all he does to help Unity. Awesome, yeah. So there's lots and lots of people here. Anybody else? Yeah. Right. She loves the energy of being in person. Isn't that so different?
And
Yeah.
let's not forget our our loyal trustees of the day, usually Jefferson and Billy. They've been a big help.
Yeah. We have wonderful trustees that are here to help us.
As
And-
well as our platform people, Neely, Marilyn George, and Ann Leach have been really great. Thank you.
Yeah. And there's some people who aren't even taking a leadership role who are making a difference just by smiling at somebody else, just by being here, so that we can have that energy that she was talking about, that energy of when we get together, we can feel each other more palpably. It's not that we can't feel each other through the computer, but it's different. It's different. And it feels so good to come together and to be able to have a place where we can be and we can come and be in a community. So I would like to pose that the first benefit, or the first way that love is winning in this Corona experience, is that we're getting a greater appreciation of one another. The family members we haven't been able to see, my grandbabies I haven't been able to see in 2 years because they live in Washington State and I'm not getting on an airplane yet. You know, we all have those kind of stories. But don't we appreciate those people even more because we can't be with them right now? There's another kind of love that is expanding as this corona expansion continues, and now they have something called the Delta variant, right? So this, I thought it was interesting. I was listening to a Brene Brown book, and she said that in research, Delta, the Delta sign, and this was before the Delta variant even came out, is the sign for change. Isn't that interesting that we're all changing and expanding and becoming who we're meant to be through this process, through this shared experience? And now it's the Delta variant, so they're even telling us, you're going to change, right? And we get to spend more time with ourselves in this, right? If we're trying to keep people that we love safe, we have been spending more time with ourselves usually. A lot of people have maybe had some alone time or maybe even felt lonely. But there's a mystic that lives in Fayetteville. She's a mystic and healer. Her name is Madeline Love. And she and I were having lunch one day, and she told me, now that the fifth dimension is anchored on Earth, it is so important that we all integrate self-love so we can join in love with others as whole and fully integrated beings. Now, you guys have heard that there's a shift taking place on this planet, right? That our consciousness is raising, that we're heading towards this beautiful experience, that we're all going to be able to live with one another in harmony, and there's not going to be so much war and violence. I'm so looking forward to that, and we're going through that process of change right now. Many years ago, I had a dream that I was on an alien spacecraft, and that there was a hologram of Earth in front of me. And on this hologram of Earth, there were billions of dots of light. And every one of those dots of light was connected to every other dot of light. And the aliens weren't talking to me in words, but they were talking to me in concepts. And the concept they were explaining is that when our vibration is high enough, we get on grid. And everybody that's on grid is connected to everybody else on grid. So if we're learning self-love, if we're going within and learning self-love, we're more able to maintain that on-grid kind of experience. And therefore, we are more connected energetically to all the other lights on the planet. Isn't that fun? Jesus said, love thy neighbor as thyself, right? Doesn't that kind of imply that it's important for us to love ourselves before we get into that loving of our neighbor, or even at the same time as we love our neighbor, and equally? I'm a therapist in my day job, and I oftentimes in family therapy will have the families do an activity where they say one thing they're grateful for each other family member and one reason they're grateful for themselves. And they will gush about their family members. Oh yeah, he does this and she does that. And then I remind them, and how about you? What do you appreciate about you? And they're like, oh, let me think about that, right? So it's so important for us to really learn our own value and our own worth. You literally are the only person who is with you from the day you were born until you exhale your last breath on this planet. Seems to me that that's a relationship worth cultivating, don't you think? Yeah. So I wrote a little song about this concept that I would like to share with you now. Someday I'll find my perfect mate, someone just like me. I'll feel just like I have come home and be completely at ease. I'll always be considerate and never let me down. I'll never turn my back on me when I come around. I've been searching my whole life for the one who'd make things right, till I open my eyes to see the one I'm looking for is me. I'll help you grow spiritually and cheer me up when I'm blue. I'll be free to just be me. Then I'll find my inner truth. I'll always treat me lovingly and never put me down. If ever I am lost to me, I'll search till I am found. I've been searching my whole life for the one who'd make things right, till I open my eyes to see the one I'm looking for is me. And I am so happy together, just being with me forever. Can't think of a better mate to spend my life with me, and knowing that I'm bound to be eternally free. I've been searching my whole life for the one who'd make things right, till I open my eyes to see the one I'm looking for is me. Thank you. So soak in those words, because the one you're looking for is you. And so with that thought, I'm going to lead you guys in a meditation. So start kind of wiggling your body into the chair where you can get all comfortable and relaxed. Let that chair fully support you. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes or have a gentle gaze at the back of the chair in front of you. And take a deep, centering breath. And I'd like you to imagine that you have roots growing from the base of your spine and the bottom of your feet, deep, deep, deep into the core of the earth. And when your roots get to the core of the earth, much like you would suck up a drink through a straw, I want you to bring that earth energy up through your roots to the base of your spine and the bottom of your feet, and bring it all the way up into your heart area. And let the energy of the earth swirl around your heart. I'd like you also to imagine that your crown is opening and expanding, and that there's a beam of white light, brilliant white light, coming in the top of your head, all the way down to your heart. And let the energy of Mother Earth and Father Sky mingle there in your heart, where you are the connection between them. And I want you to take a deep, slow breath. And as you take this breath, see that energy expanding to encompass your entire body, filling you fully with this energy, and with the energy of your heart, the love energy we all hold in our hearts. And with your next deep breath, I want you to expand this energy even further out to where it encompasses all the people around you. And with one more deep breath, imagine this energy is filling this entire building. So it's like there's all these beautiful sparkles of all of our collective love, and the love of Earth, and the love of Creator Source. And next, I'd like you to put your hands on your lap and let this energy that's mingling around in your heart be breathed out down your arms, out your hands, and just send it into your legs. Just send that love, all of that love we've been collecting, into your legs. These legs that carry you around, that help you to be able to move and have helped you have many adventures on this planet in your life. Fill your heart with gratitude for these legs. Next, I want you to give yourself a hug as gently as you would hug a small child. And let that energy from your heart pour down your arms, out your hands, into your arms, into you. And just share that love. Just really embrace yourself with love. And next, I want you to, just as gently as you would touch the face of a newborn, I want you to touch your face. And hold your face there. And just feel the love. And let that energy flow down your arms into your face from your heart. And imagine in front of you there's a mirror. And you look into your eyes and you look deep into your soul. And allow yourself to smile. And with a deep breath, I want you to send that smile to all of the cells in your body. And with one final deep breath, you may open your eyes at the end of the out-breath. Notice how you feel. A little bit different. Yeah. Because when we're hanging out with ourself, when we're being in this love of ourself, we cannot separate that from the energy of Creator Source. Because Creator Source flows with us and through us and walks as us on this planet. We are the expression, the individualized expressions of the divine. So that's the third love I want to talk about today, and that's the love that we share with Creator. When we can be with ourselves and be present to knowing that that feeling that you can experience right now can flow through you at any moment. Now, I have a dear friend in Fayetteville named Catherine Gindling. I don't know if any of you know her, but she has started the Unity Silent Retreat Ministry. And she leads lots of silent retreats, and I've been to many of her retreats. And she has a practice that one day every week she stays in the silence all day. So she gets to have that Creator Source connection. And it's hard to describe what it is to be that connected and that, I guess, hooked in, but I want to try to help you to understand this. And at one of the silent retreats that I went to, I was in about day 5 in the silence, and in day 5 of the silence, the vibrancy of the world becomes so loud and alive. And everything is just, it's like a Celestine prophecy type of world, you know? I don't know if you've read that book, but it's like that kind of experience. And so I was sitting here on day 5, and I decided I would like to have a cup of vanilla chai tea. So I went to the kitchen, and I turned on the little electric glass teapot that has the blue lights around the bottom. And I was mesmerized by those bubbles as they started coming up and as the water was boiling. It was the most beautiful show I had seen. And when the water hit that vanilla chai tea bag, the aroma that wafted up was like it was drifting straight down from heaven. It was the most delicious smelling tea I had ever smelled. And as I added the honey to my tea and the spoon clinked on the side of the cup, I thought it must be angels' harps because it was such a beautiful sound. And then I took a sip, and it was like the nectar of the gods. It was the most delicious cup of tea I have had in my entire life. And I've had that same brand of vanilla chai tea several times since then. Never has it tasted quite that good. And finally, I was sitting there sipping my tea, and I decided to take the spoon and to just let one drop fall out into the cup because I was noticing how beautiful the light was shimmering on top of the tea in my cup. And when I let that one drop fall out, it was like those slow motion videos you see of a drop of water falling in a lake. Like I literally saw the center come up and like all those rings go out. And the sound that the drop made hitting my tea tickled my soul and made me giggle. And that is what it's like to be steeped in the presence and completely connected to that God source within. It can be as simple as a cup of tea or a smile with a friend or a community member. It can be so simple as looking at a butterfly and just watching it flap its wings on a flower. But that is the kind of love that we're cultivating in the Corona expansion. So the gift of this Corona expansion is the opportunity to expand our love with one another, to expand our love with ourselves, and to expand our love with Creator Source. And that, my friends, is why love will always win. Namaste.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Your singing is just beautiful, too. I envy that. I always have to turn my microphone off and walk over here when we're doing the songs because I think Sam loves my voice, but he might be the only one. And he's the most important one to love my voice, so that's fine. Speaking of the children in the room and the children within, because it's not just about the physical children, it's about the child that lives in each of us all the time, every day, for our whole lives. It is time for our children's blessing. So say with me, if you would, children, you are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are. And now, if you are comfortable doing so, stand up and join hands. If not, you may stay in your place, and that is fine. But it is time for our peace song and then our prayer of protection.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant come home.